Good morning, everyone. On this Tuesday, the 11th of January, we're in the first week in Ordinary Time, and we are reading through the first book of Samuel, and we left off where Hannah was barren, without child. And there are a number of examples before this time of similar cases of women of the Old Testament having this. And it's a strategic importance in this child to be born. So now we begin in verses 9 through 20. Hannah rose after a meal at Shiloh and presented herself before the Lord. At the time, Eli the priest was sitting in a chair near the doorposts of the Lord's temple. In her bitterness, she prayed to the Lord, weeping copiously, and she made a vow promising, "O Lord of hosts, if you look with pity on the misery of your handmaid, if you remember me and do not forget me, if you give your handmaid a male child, I will give him to the Lord for as long as he lives. Neither wine nor liquor shall he drink, and no razor shall ever touch his head." As she remained long at prayer before the Lord, Eli watched her mouth, for Hannah was praying silently. Though her lips were moving, her voice could not be heard. Eli, thinking her drunk, said to her, "How long will you make a drunken show of yourself? Sober up from your wine." "It isn't that, my lord," Hannah replied or answered. "I am an unhappy woman. I have neither wine nor liquor. I was only pouring out my troubles to the Lord. Do not think your handmaid as a near-ear-do-well. My prayer has been prompted by my deep sorrow and misery." Eli said, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant what you have asked of him." She replied, "Think kindly on your maidservant," and she left. She went to her quarters, ate and drank with her husband, and no longer appeared downcast. Early the next morning they worshipped before the Lord, and they returned to their home in Ramah. When Elkanah had relations with his wife Hannah, the Lord remembered her. She conceived, and at the end of her term bore a son, whom she named Samuel, since she had asked the Lord for him. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, the drama of what was going on for Hannah, who is barren, and perhaps older in age also. I mean, we don't know for sure, but perhaps older in age, that this has been going on for quite some time. The fact that the other wife had a number of children shows that there's been a considerable amount of time that had gone by. And so she comes to this desperate moment where she asks the Lord for a male child. But this male child is not for her own sake. She wants this child to be set apart. And she says, "No razor shall ever touch his head." Now, this is going all the way back into the Old Testament. Well, obviously in the Old Testament, but in the place where there were covenants of Nazirite vows. Now, typically this was short term. There would be points where they wouldn't touch their head and let their hair grow, but it was short term. But there were occasions when a guy would let his hair grow out, such as Samson. He did it as a vow unto the Lord, saying, "I am dedicated totally to the Lord." And so she's saying, if I have a child, a male child, this is what I'm going to have. I want him to be dedicated solely to you, O God. And so then we have Eli, who is the priest there in Shiloh. This is where the Ark of the Covenant was before it was eventually moved to Jerusalem. And so Jerusalem at this point isn't even a place within the Israelites. It's a pagan place. So it's here at Shiloh that Eli is there, and he presumes she's drunk. She says, "No, I'm not drunk." your handmaid here is deep in sorrow, and I'm praying for something. And he recognizes in her that she's a godly woman and says, the Lord will grant your prayer. And so she left in confidence that the man of God, the priest there, is saying the truth, and she left. And sure enough, she has a child. And she names the child Samuel. And here we're given the meaning that she sees in this name of Samuel, although scholars have debated the exact meaning in Hebrew, but she gives us the meaning. She said she had asked the Lord for him. She had asked the Lord for him. So we begin God's salvation story. There's a lot of ties to other ones, even in the future. Great, important places and junctures in salvation history. We have another one called Elizabeth in the New Testament, who is very, very similar to this one. An important juncture in the life of, God's plan of salvation. It shows the powerful prayers of the righteous person before the Lord. And it convicts us of, not that God is going to always answer our prayers, but how important it is that our posture before him is to trust in him. Even if the answer is no, to always be in trust of our good and great God. Stay safe, folks. Hopefully we see each other soon. Bye for now.